Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to Coping with Life, Season 2, Journey into the Unknown. Hello, everybody. Welcome. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing fantastic. Hopefully you had a good week. If you didn't, I hope this coming week is great for you. Yeah. So, this past week has been, a week. But let's get to the amazing episode that is today. Because, alright, let's talk about my last week. Just a little recap for people. Other than just, doing my daily routine, I had an apartment extension. And normally I get like all, frantic and, worried and, everything has to be perfect. I did what I could, and I actually just let it be, which is weird. But, like I've mentioned with this season, I don't want to, be a victim of circumstance of, my brain or, worry about things that I can't control. So I wanted to try a new task, journey into the unknown. I wanted to take a deep breath. I did what I could. And, I did my best and turned out to be perfect. Because I remember, all the other times where, I'm cleaning for 24 hours and making sure that every little thing is perfect and it was just too much worry to me, and I wanted to attempt, and it turned out to be okay. And kind of proud of that, but I just gotta continue on just being who I am and just doing my best. So it is Saturday, and I hope you are well. I can't believe that we're halfway through June already. It feels like time is going super fast. And the summer months are upon us. So it's gonna be a lot hotter than I would like. But that is okay. And my outlook for this coming week is going to be good. But there's this episode is going to be more of a introduction, and just questions and just me asking many things and pondering, and that's on anger. How did you deal with, being mad, being angry, being furious, frustrated? How do you deal with that? When you look at situations, what sets you off? What is the catalyst? What are things that, happen that you immediately lose, the point of view of we're talking now and you just lash out, you yell, you scream, maybe throw things. What is that point? And, does that affect your daily life? When you think about anger, to me, being mad and screaming, there's no point to it. Even though, I've used to be, a little brat where I was screaming, yelling, and throwing temper tantrums. But as an adult person, my anger level is not terrible, but sometimes I can be a little bit outlandish and hurtful because I'm asking from somebody who I do tend to get mad or frustrated, but there's levels, and there's and again, I'm speaking just from my point of view and my opinion, and if I'm wrong, point it out to me, because I like learning. But I think when people say, oh, this person's angry or this person's mad, I think that's just the because there's a lot of people who, when they're mad or angry, they show their true colors, and right or wrong, they show their true colors because they will say things, and in what they say, the demeanor, they may tear you down, they may gaslight you, manipulate you, guilt shaming you, or whatever it may be. That's terrible. And, sometimes, that could be a learned trait from childhood, from, parents or other figures, or that's just who they are. And, being mad, being frustrated, and with past traumas or things that just don't sit right. And it's how you handle it, Sometimes when I get mad, I will, I will let my voice be heard. But then sometimes when I'm like so furious that I choose to take the high ground, I'm going to walk away. Because yelling doesn't matter. Yelling, screaming, that solves nothing. When you're mad, yelling solves nothing. Now, if somebody's about to get hit by a train, yelling will maybe get somebody's attention, and get them to safety. But when I talk about yelling and screaming, I'm basically just talking in general, It really doesn't solve anything. And, being mad, frustrating, just things that just don't sit right with you, that's okay if you can handle it safely and, write notes and bring it up to somebody. Maybe they will never change and, they treat you differently and, your opinions don't matter. And maybe you then have to think, oh, is this person worth all the hassle? You know, if you're spending time with people and 98% of the time you just feel miserable, like you're not worth their time, you know, maybe that is an unhealthy place to be in, and those people are not the best for you. And so, you know, you should take yourself out of that equation and see if it's them or it's you. Because sometimes it helps, you know, sometimes there's a lot of toxic people out there that maybe once were good people, and then as you get older and wiser and just it's not the right fit. But it's a conversation that you need to have. And it's one of those conversations where you need to actually have a conversation and also have open ears and listen, because maybe what you perceive is not reality. You know, maybe your world is just different, and it's just, you know, it's just one of the things where it's really hard to dial out, because there's so many issues and things that could be. But if you don't have an open line of communication, like if every time you say something you get interrupted and they don't care about you, you know, maybe that's not a healthy place for you to be. Because obviously they probably don't care. If your opinions don't matter and every time you say something, they undermine you anyways. So what's the point? But sometimes maybe there's a reason. You know, there's multiple sides, and those are things that you need to discuss and figure out. But if, you know, people just give you the silent treatment or they don't care about you, then that really tells you about that person. And because, you know, I'm saying this as a 35-year-old adult. You know, if somebody's going to give me the silent treatment, I'm going to walk away. I'm probably not going to talk to that person again. Why? I don't need that kind of stuff, especially the stuff that I deal with on a normal basis. You know, because sometimes you need to walk away and make choices for you. And, you know, sometimes it's one of those things where you really have to pick apart things. And if there's something that happens on a daily basis and your brain flares up like, I don't like that, then you can either have a conversation, and if they don't want to talk about this, or they don't give you the respect that you deserve to listen to your problems, then cut them out of your life. Because anger and the way that you feel, you matter. And that really does matter. Now, those people in your life may mean the world to you. But if they generally make you unhappy, even though you're happy to talk to them and spend time with them, there's a problem there. And, you know, I'm just starting to, like I mentioned, this is just a introduction, just asking many questions, because, you know, we all wonder about, you know, things, and, you know, maybe your brain, or there's, you know, you're seeing things that's not actually there. And that could be the case as well. You know, if, you know, things are said or done that you may think, oh, what did this person mean by this comment or whatnot? If you don't ask for clarification and you just assume that's the context that they mean, you know, I think that lays on you and not the other person. That, you know, you should be able to talk, because one of the things that for me is have communication. And if you can't bring up sour topics to somebody, you know, that there's a problem there. If you can't be brutally honest, and just say, hey, what did you mean by that, by the way? Then the other thing that you need to actually think about, because, you know, it's just one of the things where you know, maybe I'm wrong. Because I know there's some people who just, you know, talk about sports or ballet or video games or whatever, you know, the common interest may lay. You know, maybe that is just, you know, what you do, where you just sit, drink a beer, and talk sports and nothing else. And, you know, I'm okay with that. But sometimes people throw tizzy fits, and their opinion is the only way. And you know, I just think, you know, there's many ways to handle anger, and it could be just a break in communication that may have you miffed, or what level it may be. And I would like later, I don't know if it's going to be this year. I won't know, because it's a journey into the unknown. I don't know what's coming down, but I would like to know more, and, you know, touch on this topic more. There's many topics that I would like to touch on, but when it comes to being angry and frustrated, for many levels, I mean, there's, you know, there's many things that can transpire. You know, I can get mad because I stubbed a toe. You know, I can be mad because I missed the last train home. That's on me. But the thing is, you know, how do you deal with that anger? And everybody's different. And but sometimes you have to think about the consequences and, you know, what may or may not happen. Because sometimes you can be level-headed and just, oh, by the way, I'm kind of mad about that. That kind of made me a little angry. And then cool off. You know, and sometimes, you know, back to the whole scenario of, you know, acquaintances and people that you're talking to that you may not know what, you know, maybe one of their people, is mad and frustrated, but it has nothing to do with anybody else there. And then when something happens, you know, yell and scream and, because, you know, sometimes there's a lot of things that bother somebody and something may just irk them and, lash out people that they care about. And, you know, that's why you should talk to people and, you know, not, you know, hide behind things. And again, this is just my opinion from somebody who has, on occasion, got mad and, you know, took my ball and went home. You know, I am definitely not perfect. But if there's things that are bothering you, you need to be honest and either bring it up, and, you know, ask things and get clarifications, or drop it and move on. Because if you are holding on to a grudge or holding on to, you know, something that somebody said, whatever, you know, if you're not going to bring it up, then you should just let it go. You know, have a clear headed and try and have fun and have a good time. Now, and maybe it's been long enough that they may not know what you're talking about. And sometimes, you know, it's just not your day. You know, I try and have a great time with everybody and make everybody laugh that I spend time with. But, you know, if I'm not healthy mentally, and for me personally, since when I'm not feeling mentally sound and I'm not doing well, and I need to vocalize to people, hey, by the way, I'm not feeling good. I'm not doing well mentally. I may yell at you. I may scream at you. Just, you know, don't poke the bear. Because if I don't say that, then when that happens, then I'm a fool. But I've been very vocally, trying to change how, you know, I do things. Now, normally I don't yell or scream because I like building people up. And, you know, just for some reason I really wanted to hit on, you know, anger today. it's been a topic that I've been wanting to do, and one of the things that I wanted to do today, right when I hit record, my brain's like, oh no, I want to do this one. So I was not actually prepared. And so it was just a little introduction, and maybe later I can deep dive and actually have, things, because when it comes to anger and, there's levels to anger, and everybody is different on how they handle them. And compared to other people that I know, they handle anger differently. They do the silent treatment. They do this, or the other people that I know that handle it a different way. And that's what they do. There's no right or wrong. I mean, if you can safely handle it, and the way that you deal with it personally, if it's done safely and nobody's actually harmed, because I'm not talking about violent anger. That's a totally different subject that I probably will never touch on, because I don't condone violence. I'm not ignorant to violence. I just don't condone things, and maybe one day I may, because that is an interesting topic. But I like to keep things lightheartedly, and but anger is an issue where is one of the many emotions that pop up time to time. And sometimes, I will be completely honest. Sometimes I can get mad at someone for totally the wrong reason. That's on me. But sometimes my brain will go, I'm mad. And, sometimes you have to apologize. And, that's okay. But normally I try to be level-headed when it comes to anger and talk about things. Sometimes I need a moment to breathe, because when things happen in the moment, people will say things, and depending of how they say it or what they say adds fuel to the fire. And that is not always the best. And we get it. When you get mad, when you get angry, you may say things that you definitely mean, or sometimes you say things that you don't mean, that you just lash out. And those are things that you need to figure out for yourself. Because, one thing that I know for me is I honestly don't care about other people's opinions. They're interesting to me. But I'm no longer concerned with, okay, that person's opinion is wrong, and I'm going to tell them why they're wrong. No, their opinions are their opinions. My opinions are my opinions. And most of my opinions are wrong or from a different point of view. And when it comes to being mad and angry, maybe maybe you're mad because you're hungry. Some when it's like, oh, I haven't had food today and I'm a little grouchy, and it happens. But you have to have a good line of communication, and because people may just think you're a jerk, but that's something that I would like to touch on later, and if I never touch on it again, that's okay. Because it's just one of those things that me being who I am, I can be suffering from sadness and depression, and in that depression I could be thinking of bad thoughts that when somebody says something very very just wondering what you're doing, of, oh hey, how's that game you're playing? And if you lash out, it's not what they're saying, it's just they just happen to talk to you the moment that just broke your train of thought. Those are things that hurt a lot. And if they can talk to you and you can talk to them openly and honestly, first of all, apologize. But everybody's fighting their own battles, even if you know it or not. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know what people are dealing with on a daily basis. And I'm not the best with words. I'm not best with my emotions. I'm openly flawed. And there's a lot of things that bother me. There's a lot of things that people have done to me that I can get irritated with. But it's how you deal with it and try and move on and make everybody feel better. I build people up, not tear them down. Because it's very easy to tear people down. And sometimes it makes them worse. And, it's just how you deal with it. And again, this is just my opinion, and maybe later down the line, my opinion might change. It's just how I feel right now. And there's no, actual reason. All the scenario that I said is just not real. I'm just using those as an example. But when it comes to all of these emotions that people have, everybody handles things differently. And what may work for somebody else is definitely not going to work for someone else. We are complex beings, and we all handle things a lot differently. So with that said, I am going to wrap up this small little episode of a topic that I've been really wanting to touch on, and I really do want to go more in depth into this topic, because this is a lot to say. I don't even think I've scratched the surface on this topic, so I definitely want to do more on this. I just don't know when or if. So thank you so much. And if you are feeling angry or mad or sad or miffed, here's a giant hug from me to you, because I care about you and you matter. No matter where you are currently in the world, you matter, and I love you very much, and each and every one of you mean the world to me. And no matter my highs and my lows, the things that I'm not proud of and the thing that I am proud of, and I'm proud of you. And I hope you keep going and chase your dreams if they are achievable. I want you to chase your dreams, please, because that matters. We live a short life, and the thing that we aspire to be, or the thing that we want to do and accomplish, the time is now. And the people in your life, they matter, and if they're not doing well, try and lift them up, help them as much as you can, or how much they want to be helped. And sometimes we just have to sit back and reflect and talk about things, and that's saying a lot. So with that said, I love you all. I love everyone. Smile to ya. Build people up, not tear them down. And try and reflect, trying to take a deep breath. And maybe this is a reminder to myself to not overreact, because I can do that. But to good mental health, to good well-being, and know that just have a good day and a good week until next week, till next Saturday. But before I go, hug the people in your life. Tell them that you love them, because they may not be there the next day. And it's hard to go through life knowing that you never got to say goodbye, and you never got to tell them that you love them one last time. And people who you need in your life who's no longer there, for whatever reason it may be, it weighs heavy on one soul. And some people will never know that feeling. Some people may know that feeling all too well. So, wherever you are in the world, know that I care about you and I love you. And I wish you the best week, and I hope great things come to you. And the thing that you're chasing, you're going to achieve. I believe in you. I am proud of you. Keep it up. until next week, know that I love you, and I bid you adieu.